Hey everybody, how's it going? I want to talk to you about technology and making sure that you don't get left behind on a few things. Presidents are a great example of whoever stays up on what is current wins. Back when FDR started his fireside chats on the radio, that was brand new. That was a brand new feature for him to be able to speak on a radio. Prior to him doing that and addressing the public, the only news you would hear about presidents were in newspaper reports. Newspaper reports, sometimes they would misquote, and every time they would certainly miss the inflection, the tone that the candidate had. So radio became huge because now you could hear, from his own voice. And then, fast forward to the Nixon-Kennedy debates. Nixon was a great debater. He was excellent at it. Kennedy was not as good as a debater, but he was much better on television. He had spent more time doing television. So how that turned out was those people who watched the debate on television said Kennedy won easily because Nixon was uncomfortable under the lights. He sweated a lot. He spent a lot of time dabbing foreheads, things like that. People who listened to it only on the radio thought Nixon won. So that was, again, a case of that newest technology, that newest way to reach people, to figure out where people are getting their information, paid off. Fast forward to Obama. Obama, a lot of people say, was a social media president. I mean, he was the first one to really dive into social media, and he had something on his website that was Obama Everywhere, and it had Twitter, it had Facebook, it had all the social medias at the time, and he took advantage of that and, of course, won. Well, we just elected the first podcast president, and if you don't believe it, take a look at which shows President Trump, love him or hate him. There's no in between, right? He knew the system. He figured it out. He went on the top podcast. He went on Joe Rogan. He went on Theo Vaughn. He went on, you name it, so many of the top podcasts. And when he's on when he's on Rogan, he 35 million downloads in one day. That just dwarfs what Kamala was getting on her infrequent conversations on television. And she did a couple podcasts, but again, not many. So my call to you now is, look, it worked for Donald Trump and half the country hates him. You need to be podcasting. You need to be guesting on podcasts. You need to have your own podcast. And there's no two ways about it. It is the place to be right now. All right. Until next time, hey, keep it real.